Thank you so much for joining us here on Live and Now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. We want to take you out to a big story overnight in our nation's capital as a U-Haul rammed into some barricades just outside the White House. We're going to be joined now on the ground there outside of the courthouse where this suspect appeared earlier on today by Fox 5 Stephanie Ramirez. Thank you so much for joining us. What's the latest you can tell us on this suspect, who he is, and what charges he could potentially face?
Sure, and thank you for having me here. So he did appear in court today, which means we get a look at the charges being against him and the argument for why those charges are being filed. And I can tell you, according to the court documents just released, it's a U.S. Secret Service agent who says that 19-year-old Kandula had stated his goal was to get to the White House, seize power, and be put in charge of the nation. And then when federal investigators asked how he would do so, the 19-year-old allegedly made claims that he would kill the president or hurt anyone in his way. That's according, again, to the court documents just released today. We should also note that investigators also said they did not find any explosives, ammunition, or weapons inside the U-Haul that the suspect used. We do have a photo of him. I reached out earlier today to the Rockwood School District, and a school official confirmed, this is out of Missouri, that his high school photo is the one you should be seeing. His name is Varshith Kandula, and that he graduated from their Marquette High School early. This was in January of 2022. They would not say any more. I can tell you that he did appear in court today at D.C. Superior Court looking with hair that was a little bit longer, a beard, very skinny. He was looking around, telling the judge that he understands. The court documents say that, among other things, the suspect claimed he wanted to get his green book to the people who needed to see it. This book apparently contains his plans for how he would enter the White House and what he thought he would accomplish there. I can tell you, Fox 5 DC's cameras were on the ground immediately after this incident. And we did see investigators going through what looked to be this green book. There were multiple pages with handwriting all over the pages as investigators were taking photographs for evidence. And this scene played out around 9:40 last night. The U.S. Park Police investigator who was also interviewed for this and who appears to have made the arrest had said that they saw the U-Haul slam or drive into barriers located at Lafayette Park. This is just north of the White House grounds. The barriers, the bollards there are meant to purposefully protect those grounds from vehicle traffic coming down, most likely 16th or anything on 8th Street there, from getting onto the park grounds and getting to the White House grounds immediately after it. The investigators said that the suspect got out after this, went back to the back of the U-Haul, pulled out a Nazi flag with a swastika on it from their backpack. And then that suspect is later arrested, making various statements to federal investigators. Another thing the 19-year-old allegedly claimed was that whether he made it to the White House or not, he felt he was successful because he felt that his message got across. Now, we learned today that the 19-year-old, he does not have a criminal history, but given the alleged statements, the alleged actions, a D.C. Superior Court judge, which is a local judge here in the district, did decide to hold him without bond. That is until at least he goes before a federal judge tomorrow at the U.S. District Court for D.C. here in the District of Columbia.
That is a lot of details there, Stephanie, as we're continuing to follow this from late Monday into Tuesday. And like you said, he had his intentions, or he said in court his intentions to go after the President of the United States. And of course, President Biden in the White House late last night. They take this very seriously. What kind of potential charges and maybe how long could he be behind bars if they do find him guilty? Because potentially it's leaning that way right now.
That is a great question. I can tell you I did not get to calculate all of the time that these charges could face, but we're talking about, serious charges here, especially on a federal level. Some of them, just to read them off to you: threatening to kill, kidnap, inflict harm on a president, vice president, or family members, assault with a dangerous weapon, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, destruction of federal property, and trespassing. They did also note in the court documents the federal property is referring to the bollards there, that the damage there was over $1,000. We should also note, we're still trying to learn more information on a few things, including how he got here. According to the court documents, he claimed to have purchased a one-way ticket from St. Louis and arrived in Dulles yesterday, and that he apparently rented a U-Haul truck from a facility or location not far from the airport. We did also reach out to U-Haul. This is not the first serious incident, especially in our D.C. region, that has involved a rental U-Haul, whether legally rented or stolen. So we are trying to get some more information there as well.
I do have to ask you, because I think a lot of people will pick up on the Nazi flag, the Nazi paraphernalia that was picked up from the scene. And the fact that this kid, this 19-year-old, doesn't really have a criminal background. Maybe how much are they looking into that background of this Missouri teenager there, and maybe what drew him to both the Nazi paraphernalia and also coming to Washington, D.C.?
Sure. So the court documents do address that. According to federal investigators, he made a number of comments sympathetic to the Nazi regime, and Hitler as well. So that appears to be why the flag was placed on the ground there. And if he's speaking on how he wants to rule, then you could connect those two there. But that was definitely mentioned in the court documents as well.
All right, Stephanie Ramirez, thank you so much. Some wild details there out of Washington, D.C. We want to make sure everyone is safe there, so that was a good thing in the end. Well, we appreciate your reporting, as always. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Okay, thanks to Stephanie.